I thank Father Scott for introducing me, but just to do it again briefly, my name's Deacon Paul Born. I was ordained a deacon in June, but back in 2020, I spent 5 months in this parish as well as in St. Mary the Assumption in Hull. We had to flee the seminary for a bit while we figured out what to do about the COVID, and then I spent my summer here as well. And I'm so grateful to be back. It's a beautiful time of summer. I'm glad the weather cooled off. I did come here to cool down for my assignment in Waltham. I've been staying over in the Hull Rectory for a week. And one of the beautiful things about being back down here is just seeing all the natural beauty. I had friends come visit. They were amazed by the beaches, by the landscapes, the homes, the wonderful places to eat, all the trees and greenery. Don't tell anyone in Waltham, but I think it beats Waltham Square. I've seen some familiar faces, just friendships I developed in this time. And I know these are a gift from God. The God who we know has been so good to us. Those of you who have grown up in this town know the many blessings that have come to you here. And some of you moved here because of those blessings and to receive those blessings. So when we hear a difficult gospel like this, I think it makes us wonder, is this the loving God that we believe in? The God who wants to set the earth ablaze and says that he's come to bring division in households? When I read this gospel last night, there was a family seated right here in front of me that was coming to pray for a deceased loved one the Mass was being offered for. And it was so hard to hear the Lord say he was bringing division when it was so sad that this family had been separated from their loved ones so permanently. But that's the point. There is not permanent division. The Lord does not want to bring permanent division. The Lord does not want to bring the silly division that we have in our church, or in our politics, or even in our families. That is not his goal. You can just hear the frustration in his voice in this gospel. Remember that he's going around preaching his kingdom and the blessings it will bring to these people, healing their sick, telling them about the kingdom of heaven, giving them many blessings like the multiplied loaves and the fishes. And every now and then he sees what will happen throughout the whole future of our world, that the Christianity that he came to preach will be misinterpreted and downplayed. Not to say that the purpose of Christianity is to bring us bad things, but he's frustrated that people think that Christianity is about bringing us good things which fall far short of the actual good he wants to give us. See, all of these beautiful things that the Lord has given in our life, including this beautiful town and this weather today, our family, our money, our treasure, our blessings, our time, all of it is meant to foreshadow the greater good to which we are called, our vocation to live amongst that cloud of witnesses that the letter to the Hebrews told us about in that second reading. And what the Lord is afraid of is that we are so tempted by the things of this world to see them as our ultimate end, that every now and then he has to say something a little bit shocking to remind us that we should let nothing on this earth, nothing at all, even our closest relationships, distract us from that heavenly vocation. So let me ask you, do you believe that you have a vocation to be a saint? Because that is what the church teaches. These saints on our altars are particular examples of sanctity, and none of us will be exactly like them, like St. Anthony there, the Blessed Virgin Mary there. And we may never get an altar to ourselves. But the Lord calls us all to reach that heavenly glory so that we can be a member of those cloud of witnesses. That is why the reading tells us that we must imitate them. As they are up in the clouds watching us, we are down here watching them, seeing the amazing things that they did for the Lord, and that they spared nothing in order to make sure that they would reach their heavenly homeland. We know in New England the absolutely insane things that athletes do in order to reach their goal. Some of you have heard about the triathlete that claimed that he won by straining his cottage cheese twice instead of once. Maybe some of you ultra runners have heard of that. A more familiar story would be Tom Brady going to bed at 8 o'clock every night, eating avocado ice cream and getting those weird Alex Guerrero pliability sessions. It's kind of weird. But if he's willing to do that just to try to get an 8th trophy, which he will not take with him down into the grave, how much more should we be willing to see that we should spare nothing in order to reach heaven? The beautiful thing about our vocation is that we don't have to beat everybody else. We don't have to do those crazy, insane things necessarily. We just have to be faithful to the Lord and use all the beautiful tools that he gives us in order to shed those things that weigh us down. And that's what the second reading is telling us, that the sins of those who eventually reached heaven had to be shed so that what weighed them down with their earthly temptations could eventually lighten them so that they could take off into heavenly glory. That's the beautiful thing about Christianity, is that God gives us all of those tools in order to reach that heavenly place, because that is our true happiness, not just the things of the world. Although the things of the world are meant to make us happy here, we just can't let this happiness do anything to prevent us from reaching eternal happiness. That's what the saints realized. They looked at this cross, the cross that is in every Catholic church, to remind us that God spared nothing. God could have saved us in other ways. He didn't have to be crucified. But he did that so we would look at him and say, Jesus, you spared nothing for me. Nothing in your soul, your mind, or your body. So Lord, please help me that I may spare nothing just to give you my love. Because after all, you only want me to love you so that we can be together forever. So the Lord is not looking for permanent division. The Lord is looking for permanent unity. But he does know that some things will be divided on earth, and we should simply let the Lord take that into his own hands. Be faithful to the Lord, and let those things that try to divide us from him not weigh us down. And then we will become, as well, members of the cloud of witnesses